What's up guys, welcome back. Today I'll be showing you how to make the most beautiful nacho platter you've ever made in your life. And the best part about it is you can do it right at home in your own kitchen and it'll be way better than anything you get at a restaurant, just in time for the Super Bowl. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit that bell and enable notifications as well. Alright, if we're going to do this, we got to do it right, and that means frying our own tortillas. So here I have 1 pack of white corn tortillas. You can use flour if that's your thing, and we're just going to quarter these up into little triangles. Well, I guess technically they're not triangles, but whatever shape you want to call that. All of my geometry majors in the comments, let me know what shape this is, please and thanks. But there you go, you just want to quarter these up. We're going to deep fry them and make the most delicious tortilla chips you've ever had. Way better than store-bought, but if you're feeling a little bit lazy, then hey, I get it. Go ahead and buy the stuff from the store. I won't judge you. You know the rules. We're going into our deep fryer with 1 gallon of vegetable or peanut oil. I know that sounds like quite a bit of oil just for some tortillas, but I promise that the oil is reusable. And I was actually making another recipe after this video that I needed that oil for, so I killed 2 birds with 1 stone, so only use as much as you need. Now we're gonna pop these into the 350-degree oil for about 60 to 90 seconds. You wanna flip them occasionally and just wait till they get golden brown. These cook really quickly, guys, so don't walk away from them. Just, give them the attention that they deserve. And once they get golden brown and crispy, we're gonna remove them from the oil and place them on a paper towel lined baking sheet and immediately hit them with some kosher salt. Looking good. The biggest challenge with this recipe is not eating all the tortillas before it's time to build your nachos, and I really struggled with that. We ended up having just enough to make a platter, but I definitely ate my fair share of these. As always, guys, the specific measurements and ingredients for this recipe can be found in the description box below, so please check it out. Moving on to our guacamole. I've only cut myself in the kitchen maybe 2 or 3 times ever, and 2 of those 3 times was with an avocado. So be careful with this. Just make sure that you pay attention to what you're doing. There's a couple ways to do this. This is how I like to remove the seed from the avocado. But just be careful, guys, because avocados can be a little tricky. They don't always have your best interest in mind. We're using 3 large avocados for this recipe. We're going to dump them into a mixing bowl. Make sure they're nice and ripe. They should be real soft to the touch. There's a couple different ways to identify a ripe avocado. I'll spare you all the details, but get in there with your hands, feel them up a little bit, and make sure that they're nice and soft. There we go. For the best guacamole, we need some red onion. We also need some fresh lime juice, along with 1 jalapeno. If you're not into spice, you can go ahead and omit the jalapeno or just use half of it. If you're a punk like me, you want to remove these seeds because that's where all the spice lies in a jalapeno anyway. Like so. Gloves are important when you're dealing with jalapenos because if you're not using gloves and you touch your face, it's going to burn your eyes. So just please make sure to wash your hands after you deal with these peppers here. Give them a nice fine dice like so. And they are going directly into that guacamole. Next up is going to be a little bit of cilantro. If you are one of those folks that hate cilantro, you can leave this out, of course. You could also use parsley if you want to substitute the cilantro. We're just going to chop it up nice and fine. No right or wrong way to do this. Next, we're going to get in there and mash up our avocados with a fork or a potato masher, whatever you have at your disposal. We're going to squeeze in the juice of half of 1 lime. Looking good. Nothing like fresh guac. Next, we're going in with those red onions that we diced up earlier and some of that cilantro. As always, guys, you want to taste as you go and adjust the seasoning to your preference. You can buy those pre-packaged guacamole seasoning packets, but you don't really need it. So we're going in with a little bit of adobo here. You can use whatever seasoning you like, a little salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, something like that. Pretty much goes good on everything. We're going in with some salt. Give that a nice mix. We definitely got to get in there and try it just to make sure that it's on point. find a tortilla chip that I haven't already eaten. There we go. So the guac is good to go. We're gonna pop that in the refrigerator until later. And now we're gonna cook up our ground beef. This is 1 pound of 80/20 ground beef. If you're not into beef, you can use chicken, turkey, pork, whatever you prefer. Really, you could top these nachos with whatever protein you like. Going in with a little ancho chili powder, as well as some salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic. Some cumin as well. Again, guys, if you want to cut a corner or two, you can buy the taco seasoning packet from the grocery store and add that to this mixture as well. Keep it nice and simple. You guys know how to do this. We're just going to cook the ground beef until it's no longer pink. You're going to season to taste. Once the ground beef is safe to eat, you want to get in there and give it a taste test. Make sure it's seasoned adequately. Going in with a little bit more chili powder here. Nice and simple. If you got some leftover pulled pork, that would be great on these nachos. I do that a lot. When I make barbecue, I usually save a little bit of that pulled pork and make pulled pork barbecue nachos as well. Now it's time to make the queso. We got some Monterey Jack and queso blanco. We're gonna shred up 8 ounces of Monterey Jack cheese and 8 ounces of the Queso Melt as well. There we go. Again, as I always say, it's best to shred your own cheese because it does melt a lot better than the store-bought stuff. There's usually anti-caking agents on the store-bought cheese, and it just makes the sauce a little clumpy. And you know we like a smooth sauce over here. So we're making a roux here. We're going in with some butter and some flour. Again, guys, all the specific measurements are in the description box below. Once we have a nice blonde roux, we're going in with some cold milk. We're going to give that a nice mix. Looking good, nice and smooth, just like we like it. Now we're going to reduce our heat to low and start to add in that cheese and melt it beautifully. Nice and simple queso. Very similar to what you get at most of your Mexican restaurants. Low heat is best when melting cheese. You don't want to do it too high because the cheese will begin to separate and your sauce will get oily. So slow and steady wins the race here. If it gets too thick, you can thin it out with a little bit more milk or a little chicken stock. We're going to add a pinch of cayenne pepper just to add a little bit of heat. Mix that in. Looking good. Again, guys, the hardest part of this recipe is not to eat all of the ingredients before you're able to build your nachos, because this queso definitely needs a tortilla chip. Oh, look what I found. Let's give that a taste test. Oh man, that's a good one. Once the cheese sauce is right where we want it, we're going in with a can of Rotel. I like to use the fire roasted kind, but use whatever you like. I thought about using a half can, then I said, what the hell, let's add the rest of it. And that, my friends, is a simple yet fantastic queso for your nachos. All right, let's set that aside and keep it moving. Break out your platter. We're going to add in our tortillas that we didn't eat. Luckily for me, this was perfect for this platter. Stack them nice and high. We're going down with a little bit of shredded cheese. In my opinion, the best nachos have both shredded cheese and cheese sauce on them. So we pop them in the oven for about 5 or 10 minutes until the cheese begins to melt. Our next layer is going to be that amazing ground beef that we made. Nice and simple. Use a slotted spoon for this to avoid getting any additional oil on your nachos. But hey, if you get a little on there, what the hell, who cares? All right, going down with our queso layer. Oh man, this is looking good. Nachos have to be my favorite game day food. I mean, there's nothing better than this. Going down with some raw red onions, some fresh squeezed lime juice. You guys see what's going on. Of course, some sour cream. And again, guys, this is your platter of nachos, so whatever your favorite toppings are, feel free to add those. You can get crazy, add some black olives, add some corn, whatever you like. We're gonna put a big mound of our guacamole right in the middle. Gonna top that with some green onion and a little bit more cilantro for a pop of color. And so I can deliver on my money shot for you guys. This is definitely grade A game day food porn. Oh man. You know I gotta get in there and try this. Here comes the moment of truth. Make sure we get a little bit of everything on our chip. Oh, look at the face. It says it all. These are the nachos you never knew you needed, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and that bell to enable notifications. Share this on your social media and tag me when you make it. As always, guys, I really appreciate all of the support.